Hi, guys. Hello. Hello, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. It's been a while. I hope everybody's doing well. I decided some time. I said, you know what? I've not gone live on this channel. Can y'all hear me? Yeah. I've not gone live on this channel in forever. So, how about I do just that? Happy Sunday, y'all. Happy Sunday. Let me know where you're watching me from. And if you're watching this on replay, okay, grab your tea. Let's talk. Hi, Katina. How are you? Welcome. Hey, girl. Hey, hey, hey. Atlanta. Girl. How is the ATL treating you? How are we doing? Hi. Good seeing you. Happy to have you on here. Hello. Awesome, awesome. So welcome, guys. Welcome. Drop in the chat. Where are you watching me from? What we doing? Where are you watching me from? Let me know. It's been a minute. I don't know how I fell off going live. I was going live often and then life happened, y'all. I've been busy. And so I was like, you know what? Let me come on. Let's talk. Let's talk about it. So I recorded a video. I posted a video on Friday, and y'all have been that video already has how many comments? I think about 100 or so comments. And it's doing really well. And it was a conversation around a comment. I was responding to a comment from one of our viewers, and that comment was basically saying something around like, why would anybody move to a poor place, right? Talking about how the Gambia is poor. Why would I, you can't drink the water. Anyway, the lady had a lot to say. So I was like, you know what? I got some time. Let me record a response because I wasn't mad. I wasn't mad because what I was telling my husband was what she's asking, she's saying out loud what I think other people, some people, not everybody, may be thinking. So let's talk about it because she was saying if Africa is so great, why are so many Africans leaving Africa? And I was like, oh, that's an interesting question. And so let me go ahead and respond to that. So, anyway, y'all had a lot to say. So I said, you know what? Let's go live. Let's really go live and talk about this. Like, would you really move to Africa? Or is that something that you just talk about? Because let me tell you something. Everywhere I go, everywhere I go with my husband, it doesn't matter where we are now in the world. People will point at us and be like, "Oh, that's the couple. That's the couple that left America." Like so. People are always talking to us about, "Oh, we want to relocate. We want to move, bro. We are behind you. Like we are getting ourselves ready to move. Like we." And sometimes I'm like, is it one of those things that you just talk about but don't really? Is it one of those dreams? You know how you can dream about starting a business, but you don't really, it's a dream, it's a thing, it's a thought, it's something that you like to think about, you like to put on your vision board, but you don't necessarily plan on doing. Oh, let me turn off this light. So I was like, you know what, let's have a real conversation. Let's have a real conversation about it. Oh yeah, Gambia, you're ready to come back. Okay, you better come back. So much is happening in the Gambia right now. So much is happening. When was the last time you came to the Gambia? So much is happening. I've seen a lot of changes in the last 5 years that I've been in the Gambia. It doesn't even feel like the same place I came into. So just wanted to chat, y'all. I was like, let's talk about it. Like, what are we willing? What, like, are we really gonna move? When? What is stopping us? Like, what are the fears? Like, no judgment, because my husband was telling me it takes people about 10 years to like finally decide to move. And I was telling him, you know what? That's how long it took me to agree with the idea because my husband started talking about moving. Oh, my husband started talking about moving. Was my oldest may have been 1 years old. So 17 years ago, my husband started talking about moving. And I was looking at him like, bro, did you hit your head? You must have hit your head. Because what are you talking about? Like, why? No. So it took me a long time to finally come around, right? It took me a long time to finally come around. So no judgment from me. No judgment from me. So are you really thinking about moving? Let me know. Let's chat about it. Let's talk about it. Because I had some fears. Okay. I had, which is why I wasn't even offended by the comment the lady made. Because what my husband and I were talking about today was, what I was telling him was, we can't even act as if people are more worried. And you would think that it's not Africans, right? Like you would think that Africans, because they are here, like because they were born and raised here, will be less afraid to come home. That hasn't been my experience, actually. I find that by the way, hi, I'm originally from Cameroon. I find that I had more fears around relocating, moving back home than my African American brothers and sisters that were born in the US. And what I was telling him was, we can't even act as if people are just afraid because they're afraid, right? Like, it would have been easier for my husband to convince me to move to Bali, to Thailand, to even Japan, where I don't speak the language, than to come home. And I was telling him that that's not just, we can't act like it is just because, right? I really believe that there's more at play. I really believe that there's unconsciously, maybe we buy into propaganda, we buy into stories we hear, there's so much there. So I wanted to really just explore it. Oh, okay, best Wi-Fi for you. There's no best Wi-Fi. So there's no best Wi-Fi. All the Wi-Fi have issues. Right now I'm using Gamtel for this live. So let me know how that goes, because sometimes I go live using Gamtel and like I think I'm on, but then I'm not. So let me know. But there's not one. Okay, not to scare you. What that means is you're gonna need more than one provider. The good news is it's not that crazy expensive. For most providers, your monthly rate is $2,500, which is about, is that $25? Is it? How much is that? Hold on. Let's see in dollars. Yeah, it's $33. So for $35, you get your monthly unlimited. I think it's unlimited. If it's not, I've never hit our limit. Okay, so pretty much consider it unlimited. But you need more than one provider. So you probably get that and then get AfriCell or QCell. You know what I mean? So that when one goes off, you have another one. That's all. That's what everybody does, right? I don't know many people that work from home or really need reliable internet that don't use more than one provider. That's all. So there's no one best, right? So that you know that, okay, if this provider doesn't work, I can just jump on my next one. My husband worked remotely for years while we were here, and that's what he did. Now I'm not saying it's not frustrating. It is, because if you are leading a meeting and you start buffering and you have to, like, that 1 minute, that you have to go from one service to the next, it's 1 minute loss where people are like, hello, where's she at? So there's a little bit of that stress. You also going to need to have backup um, source of power. So whether that's a portable battery, whether that's solar, whether that's a generator. Again, with the generator, when lights goes out, your electricity, because it's plugged to your wall, will go out. But if you have a backup source of, like, if you have a generator, then the power will come back. Or if you have solar, you won't even notice, because it will automatically just go from one source to the next. So there are things that you can do. You just have to do them, and you cannot rely on just like, oh, your laptop needs to stay charged at all times, so that if power goes out, your laptop is not dead, kind of thing. But you pick up on those things and you learn them quickly. But yeah, no, people work remotely from here. Like I said, my husband did. I run my business remotely from here. A lot of the time I'm doing webinars and trainings, sales calls, where I cannot afford for my internet to go in and out. But it has happened that it has gone in and out. And initially it was very stressful. And then I was like, you know what? Whatever. Like, but yeah, I remember my husband, he will be so stressed out too sometimes. It's like the Wi-Fi is not strong enough for me to connect and all the things, but you work around that. So test it out first. Like maybe come for like 2 weeks, test it out with all the different providers, make sure that it's a go. And then, yeah, that's a good question. Hi, everybody. If you're just joining us, let me know where you're joining us from. We are talking about um, all things Africa. Like, are you really planning on relocating? What's standing in your way for relocation? And also, y'all, what kind of videos should I be creating for y'all? Please let me know, because that'd be hard sometimes to figure out, like, what do you guys want to know? What do you guys want to see? What should I create for you guys? Let me know. Can you guys hear me now? Hello. Okay, can you hear me now? Okay, we are back. Yeah, so I had to switch over to another. See what I'm talking about? Right there in action. Okay. All right. So if you're just joining us, welcome. We are talking about relocating to Africa. What are you willing to give up, if any, for this dream and this idea of actually relocating? What's standing in your way? What are your fears? Like, what are the things? Let's talk about it. Talk about it. Here's one question. Would you take the pay cut? One of the questions is like, would you be willing to take the pay cut to relocate? This is a conversation I have often, because people think, like, one of the questions people ask me is like, oh, can I get a job? And the answer is typically no. Like, even if you get not that you can't get a job, sorry. Yes, you can get a job, but nothing that will pay you what you were making in the US. Even if you're making $15 an hour, do you know how much that is in Dalasi? Like, let's say you're making $15 an hour and you were bringing home, I don't know, let's say you're bringing home $2,000 a month or $3,000 a month. Do you know how much that is in Dalasi? I don't even know that I don't know if the minister, his legal pay, I don't think it's even that. Please give me the video ideas. Oh my gosh, please drop them in the chat for me. So are we willing to take a pay cut? And I'm not even going front because I wasn't, I moved, I already had a business. So I think that if it was a situation of like, oh, Sandra, you need to take a massive pay cut, I don't know. Like, I don't know what my answer would have been. Like, I know I talked to doctors and nurses and pharmacists who are making a lot of like good money and can't necessarily work remote, right? Like, if you're a doctor, John Hopkins is not paying you to work remote from the Gambia. So, like, what we gonna do? You're a nurse, even though there are nurses now that have remote jobs. So pay cut. Are we willing to take a pay cut? Katina said the pay cut means nothing because she'll be leaving less too. So it works out, especially in the Gambia. So she feels like her cost of living will be lower. And so for her, yeah, and because yeah, it's true. We make a lot of money. You might make a lot of money in the US, but how much do you keep at the end of every month? That is the question. And that's a very good way of looking at it. Right? Like, that's a very good way of looking at it. Not necessarily, can I find a job that's going to pay me six-figure? Asking yourself, okay, realistically, how much do I make once I paid all my bills? Because am I really making six-figure? That's that. But the reality, I'm not even going to front. I'm not even going to mess around with you. If you are able to find a job that's going to pay you $500 a month in the Gambia, that's how much. Hold on, let me pull it up to see how much in Dalasi. $500 a month in Dalasi. That is about let's see. That is because a dollar is about $73. A dollar is right now 73 Dalasi. So 500 is about 36,000. If you're able to find a job that's going to pay you 36,000 Dalasi, let me know where at. right? So I'm just talking about $500 a month. To find a job that will pay you that is not easy to find. So are you willing? Are you able? Are you okay with making $500 a month? Um, because I think that that's one question that people ask themselves. So what I tell people is, I think in my experience, Africa is really great for the entrepreneurs, right? Because that's what's going to make the most sense. Or if it's a situation where it's like, I don't got many bills, Sandra. If after, because somebody might look at it and say, Sandra, when I pay all my bills in America, I don't got no $500. Shit. So if I can be here because I have family, or because I've already bought my house or my condo, I've already saved up. If I can, at the end of the day, I got my $400, $500, I'm good. Or I start my little business and it makes me a little bit of money, I'm good. But the money thing is the thing. The money thing is really the number one reason I think why people move and then have to move back. Katina said, I can't wait to come. Oh my gosh, I have no idea. And almost seems surreal to be actually live chatting with you. Oh, really? Why, girl? I can't wait for you to come. So, do you have family here? I assume. When are you coming? What are you doing? There's so much to do now. Like, there's so many more things to do in the Gambia right now. So much fun. I mean, so it's funny. I wish my husband was on this live, because when he was talking to me and he was like, "Listen, you don't have to move to the Gambia. There's so many countries in Africa, right? Because in terms, like, if I'm comparing the Gambia, and y'all know the Gambia is my heart. Excuse me, okay? But if I'm comparing the Gambia to maybe like Senegal, in terms of activities, development, blah blah blah, buying power, all the things, you can't really compare the two, right? So even when we are talking about where to relocate, it really matters. Like, I don't know what some people think Africa is. Google. When I moved to the US, y'all, so I moved to the US in 2001. People were asking me how I got there. Like, did I take a boat? People were asking me in high school, do I live with an elephant? Africa was not on the map. Africa, all people knew of Africa, and there was no Google at the time. So people images, and even when Google came, the images of Africa was very much like, remember those UNICEF videos of the kid with the fly, right? That was the image. But I hope now we know that that's not true. Do we agree? Do we know that that's not that was not true even when I moved in 2001? Okay. And so there are so many places you can relocate to. I talk about the Gambia because I live here, but there are so many places that you can move to where you won't miss, like, what you want, because they got it. So just FYI. Okay, you have family, so you're good, girl. Also, you were just here. Was the road were the roads done? I don't think in 2023 they were done with the roads. Someone needs to start a day. Someone needs to start a daycare in Gambia, and I'm Gambian. I'm in Atlanta, and I want to live in Gambia. Listen, anything childcare related. My husband and I were talking about this. There are daycares. Are they daycares? I mean, there are schools. There are daycares. A few, but like, you're right. There's room for so many more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I homeschool because even though I've been told that there are a few others, like, I should rethink. I, I don't feel qualified to necessarily talk about like the current educational system in the Gambia, because my kids didn't go to school or haven't gone to school in the Gambia yet. Okay, I did my little research and I was like, maybe I'll just homeschool for now. But anything school related, after school programs, there's, like, I did a whole video talking about like my challenges in terms of raising kids in the Gambia, in terms of like after school programs and activities, how much is lacking. So anything children related, girl, is an opportunity because there's not a lot. Um, yes. Rory Curtis, you and lie, he said, The Gambia is a beautiful country to visit and even to settle in, but at the same time, it can get very boring if you know what I mean. There are like four or five. What? There's like four or five restaurants that everybody goes to, and there's no way that like if I go out, let me talk about my husband because he's more like he's very much a social butterfly. I don't know that there's a day that he can leave the house and go out and just drive around and not meet somebody he knows because it's that tiny, like there are four or five spots or restaurants, four or five hangout spot where everybody goes to, and so everybody knows everybody. It's very small, and that is true. Like if you want to be outside and you like activities and you like, this is not it. Like go to Ghana, go to Nigeria, go to Ivory Coast, check out Senegal. You know what I'm saying? There is not, it's not that. And so what my husband was saying, and I wish he was on here. I've talked about my husband here we should have like a drinking alert anytime I say my husband, let's drink something. But what he was saying was we need to look at relocating to Africa as a business opportunity. Okay, as a business opportunity. If you look at it, because other people are looking at it as a business opportunity, meaning if I'm here, if I'm here to rest, that's different. If I'm here to look for business opportunities, when you are looking at the different countries, then you are able to rank it differently. You know what I mean? Like, yep, maybe Senegal is a bigger market, but what are the cons that comes with that? Like, are you able to start and y'all don't even mind it. My nails, I got my nails done and they did such a good job, guys. But I broke some, so just ignore it. Anyway, I was saying that when you look at it, let's say you want to go to Ghana and you want to start a tech company, okay, or a bakery. You want to start a bakery. Well, you are one out of maybe, let's say you are in Accra, you are one out of maybe 500 bakeries, and let's say you want to be the best bakery and your specialty is cupcakes and you want to be the number one cupcake person in Ghana. Okay, that's one challenge, right? But let's say that you come to the Gambia and you say, I want to be the number one cake person bakery in the Gambia. You are competing with maybe 3 people that I would recommend that make good cakes. 3 that I would say make good cakes. 3. So, but then again, as my husband said, how many people are you going to service a day? So my husband was saying, like, if you look at a restaurant here in the Gambia, what they make a month is probably what a restaurant of that caliber in Cameroon makes in 2 days. So your market is smaller, but it's so easy for you to become number one if you provide just a little bit, right? Just a little bit good customer service, just a little bit. Like, it's not that difficult. So again, you got to look at it, you got to make a decision, but it's a business decision because we talked about this earlier, like finding a job, it's not going to be it. Yeah, send me an email. Let me put our email down here. And then you haven't told me what video ideas. What videos do you want me to be creating for y'all? I put my email, so feel free to send us an email. Overnight daycare. Do you feel like Gambia is ready for that? Do you feel like people will leave their kids? Because you are Gambian, so you tell me. Do you feel like people will leave their kids overnight? Early childhood education is needed for sure. I agree with you. I'm not even going to hold you. I'm not even going to hold you. Oh, hi from Germany. Guten Tag. That's all I say. But okay, how about your family members? See, you would use it because you've lived in the US. I might, but and what overnight job? That's the other thing too. How many people in the Gambia work overnight or don't live in a compound? I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm just asking, right? Don't live in a compound with family members and things and people that can take care of kids overnight. Oh, your baby just turned one. Oh, congratulations. That is so cute. Hi, guys. We are talking about what are you willing to give up to relocate to Africa and live the African dream. So we started talking about like pay cut. Are you willing? Are you willing to take a pay cut? Are you willing to become an entrepreneur and the risk of that? What are you willing to do to make this dream a reality? Overnight restaurant might not be a bad idea. We have an overnight bakery in Cameroon, in Douala, called Zepol. When I tell you there's always a line, because that's where people go after the club, girl, that's where people go. That's where people go. There's always a line. It's a staple in Douala. It's 24/7. I don't think there's any 24/7 any business here in the Gambia that I know of. I might be wrong, but I don't think I've seen any. Maybe pharmacies and hospitals and stuff, but mm-mm. Nina said, willing to give up the BS. Listen, the BS of it all. Who child? Child, listen. Mm-mm. Okay, girl, come on over. Come on home. Are you watching in the Gambia from Germany? You're watching in the Gambia from Germany. What do you mean? Are you here? Are you Gambian watching from Germany? Yeah, anything children related. Listen, I don't know if it's because I got the kids and I'm trying to figure out. Oh, yo, am I paused again? Oh, okay, okay, all right. Yeah, I don't know if it's because I have kids and so I'm biased. But it was summer. Finding activities was a nightmare. Mm-mm. No, it's not it. It is not it. Hi, guys. Hello, welcome. We are talking all things relocation. What are we willing to give up? Because there's a lot. Like it's a big move. There's a lot you got to give up. I think also just the mindset of like thinking that relocating is a downgrade. If we're gonna have a real conversation, are we gonna have a real conversation? Because I think a lot of people don't want to admit that deep down they feel like relocating is a downgrade. They feel like, nah, I work for IBM. Or like, nah, I'm about to get promoted. I'm not going for what? Like, I don't want it to look like I failed in the West. And so I had to settle by relocating. Can we talk about it? So I think a lot of people, that is a secret fear or something they don't verbalize. But when it comes down to it and actually making the move, they're like, nah, I don't feel like I've achieved the American dream yet. Let me just like whatever the thing is. And they continue. I'm talking about specifically Africans. Again, I feel like African Americans, in my experience, have an easier time imagining relocating and actually doing it than Africans coming home. And there might be also family pressure, right? Like if your family invested and spent a lot of money for you to finally go, and you are in Germany or you're in the US and you've been there for 10 years, 15 years, and they don't feel like there's yet been a return on investment, or you don't feel like there's yet been a return on investment, right? And so you are coming back to do what? It's like we sold the land, we did all these things for you to be able to go, and you are coming back home to do what? We are trying to have you escape. What are you coming home to do? So I think there's also untold, unspoken family pressure that sometimes keep a lot of Africans from coming home because they feel like I'll go home once I feel like I've made it. I've built the house back home, I've settled my parents, I've did it. Once I feel like I've made it, I'll come home. But the problem, the trick with America too, is that like trying to save and get to whatever that thing you have in your mind that will make you feel like you made it. It's not easy. I don't know if anybody ever achieves it. where they feel like, oh, I made it in America. Like I don't even know if Oprah feels that she's made it. Like I feel like America is such a place. It's a place where you, which is one of the things, right? Like they make you feel like there's always a next thing. Oh, there's this next thing for you to achieve. Oh, you just need to do this next thing and this next thing, and then before you know it, it's time to retire, and you're like, wait, where did the time go? Oh, I'm a Gambian, but live in Germany. Oh, nice. And Smithsonian in Gambia, and I'm home again, just ready to leave all that BS in Germany. Mm. Germany is strict. Germany is strict. Yo, I went to Germany. My friend was like, no, the trash. Like she took her time to. I told her, listen, I'm only here for 5 days. The course you want to give me on how to put the trash and how to save it. I'm not here for long. I'm here just for 5 days. I'm on my way out. Thank you. Like there, y'all don't play. It's a strict program they run in Germany. Hi guys, let me know, where are you watching from? Topics, y'all. Let me know. Let me know what videos, what are the things, like what else do I need to record for you guys? I feel like sometimes I feel like I've covered. Sometimes I feel like, I've been on YouTube for a year now. I feel like I've covered the topics. So let me know, what other topics y'all want to see on our channel, on my channel, as well. Okay, I have a house for days renting with AC and da, 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 da. Can you help me to rent it? Um, Sorry. Can I help you to rent it? Send me an email. Send us an email. I can talk about it with my husband. Send us an email. I've put our email down. And Senegal is such a good location. Congratulations on that. Congratulations. So we are talking about what are we willing to give up. Some of y'all said you're willing and ready to give up the BS. Some of y'all said you're ready to for a pay cut if that's what's required. How many of you guys are ready to like become entrepreneurs? And what is like your biggest fears when it comes to like starting a business in the Gambia or in Africa in general? Okay. Yes, that is true. The work ethic, the punctual, those are things like even for me that I take with me. But y'all, like that stuff here almost I fired so many people when I first moved because I couldn't understand why somebody's gonna be late. I just couldn't understand it. I couldn't understand it. So I kept firing. I kept getting so frustrated when I first moved because I was like, that is disrespectful. Like, you're doing this on purpose. Why you're not here on time? Like, I just couldn't get with it. But I've learned, child, listen, the country humbles you and like teaches you, and like, you either gonna, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I'm just like, oh, at least the person came. My standard now is at least the person showed up. But to be honest with you, though, because we run a security company, that is a challenge that we are facing. That like it's very difficult to have people show up on time. It's extremely difficult, and it's very annoying. It's very annoying because when we travel, we give our best abroad. Somebody I was listening to a podcast, and the guy was like, if we could give our best to Africa the way we give our best abroad, Africa would be so much farther. Because I don't understand how somebody on Friday you were in the Gambia for your whole life, okay, and you were late all the time, and then you arrive in Germany or you arrive in America, and suddenly you know how to be on time. So you gave us your worst. So you had the ability inside of you to get somewhere on time. You had that ability, but you gave us your worst. And that is so frustrating. And we do it all the time, and it pisses me off because I'm like, I've met, people are like, oh, it's Cameroonians, we are never on time. No, but I've met Cameroonian nurses and Cameroonian doctors in America, and they're on time. So it's not a Cameroonian thing because we can do better, you know? So that is definitely a frustration. Oh, you did? Awesome. Yes, yes, yes. Listen, we are growing. We are here working. It is not easy. Do you hear me? Rory said, "What are the most beautiful beaches would you recommend in the Gambia, or you can do a video on it?" Okay, all right, I can do a video on it. Most beautiful video. Okay, all right, or even like favorite hotels and resorts and. Okay, all right, that's a good idea, Rory. That's a good idea. Thank you for that suggestion. It's so funny. When we first moved, I was like, oh, I'm going to stay at the beach. I like, because when I was in America, I was like, I love a beach vacation. Like, oh my God, if you want me to come somewhere, tell me there's going to be a beach. And I was like, I want a house with a beachfront. I'm going to be at the beach. I don't know the last time I went to the beach. Like, actually went to the beach for the beach. I think we take it for granted because it's here, like, because it's here, it's everywhere. Like, you can get to a beach in 5 minutes or 10 minutes in most places. So it's like, it just becomes part of it just becomes part of it. But yeah. What other questions? What are your questions, guys? What can I answer for you guys? Let me know. Oh, from North Carolina. Awesome. NC in the building. Sure. Madi Mida, Bob Garvey. Ask your question. What are we willing to give up to make this dream a reality? Like, what are we willing to, and I know it's not easy. Like, it's quite a decision, you know it's quite a decision to actually make and stick to it. And yeah, I feel like if you told people you are moving to Bali, you probably get more support than if you said you're moving anywhere on the continent. um, and so you are basically kind of doing this on your own. And I hear a lot. One of the videos I want to make is about like how what happened when a spouse, like why I think most women don't want to relocate with their husband to Africa. So I'm gonna record that tomorrow. But a lot of the time too, I hear where one spouse, like the wife wants to move but the husband doesn't want to move, or the husband wants to move but the wife or the children don't want to move. So if you are married or in a relationship, also getting the other person to want to move at the same time as you want to move is not always easy. So I've heard that as like, am I willing to give up my relationship? And also your relationship with your friends, with your family, you're gonna miss a lot of things. There's also that piece. How is electric system? I did a video maybe a month ago about how it was horrible. It was horrible. We had power outage for about 6 weeks. There was no power. We'll have power maybe 6 hours a day. But I've been here for 5 years, going on six. That was the first time that happened, and it was about About it lasted about 2 months. But since then, usually in the Gambia, the power outages are not so bad. It's usually during the raining season, but we are currently in raining season and it's not being so bad. Like if we lose power. Now, where we lived before, I feel like in Brufut, we have more power outage than where we moved to. In Brufut, I'll say we would lose power maybe once a week. But where we are now, we can go a month and maybe lose power for once and for like 10 minutes. So it's touch and go, but I would say you have to have a second source of power. You must. Like if power is important to you, you know what I mean? Like if you need your power for whether it's work, for just you have to, whether it's solar power, whether it's a generator, you must have a second source of power. You must. You have to. I heard you talking about Starlink. I'm thinking of getting one. Your hubby knows we can fix it. Well, the thing here is Starlink is having it's a thing. Before you could roam with Starlink. So like let's say you bought your Starlink in the US and you were coming to the Gambia, you could bring your device and set it up as roaming. But apparently they're changing that rule. They're wanting to do away, according to what my husband said, they're wanting to do away with roaming. And so that means you wouldn't be able to use it here, even on the roaming. And Gambia hasn't approved Starlink yet. So there's that, which is really not good news for us. Oh, nice. Absolutely. Oh, I love that for you, Cheyenne. That's just the way to do it. I don't know if it's a he or she, said that ready to give it up, building a 2 bedroom, 2 bath in Cape Coast, Ghana. That's incredible. Congratulations. Congratulations. Because I do think that's the exit strategy. I was talking to my husband about that. Like, what is the exit strategy? It's owning your own house. Because if you can own where you live, then Africa is not that expensive, especially when you talk about places like Ghana, where food is not expensive. Gambia, I find that the food in the Gambia is very expensive because we import everything in terms of food. We don't do a lot of agriculture here. But when you're in places like Ghana, Cameroon, Ivory Coast, they're big on agriculture. So the cost of food is very cheap, very low. So if you already have your house, then you can figure out how to eat. If you do solar panel, then what we're talking about, just food and water, you can figure out how to make enough to eat and have some water. You know? So that really helps you get to the freedom that you're looking for. So congratulations on that. That's a big deal. What are we willing to give up? What are we willing to give up in order for us to actually relocate and move? Or, as my husband liked to say, add Africa as an option, right? Give yourself the option, because I think for where most Africans in the diaspora agree is they don't want to retire in the US. Like one thing that we all agree on is we don't want to retire in the US. So then how do you prepare for that? Like how are you planning for that eventuality? Chaya said, I'm building from the States and have a project manager overseeing the build. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. I'm so proud of you. Like, that is so good. And the fact that you could find a project manager that's trustworthy, that's excellent. Oh, yes. So many roads. Listen. And it's always a good sign where the roads development comes. I mean, there are so many amazing, incredible projects. So many. Oh, good. Remote gig in the work, even better. Because you don't need a lot. You know what I mean? It's not like you need to be making $30,000 a month to be like, no, you don't need a lot, especially again, if you have your housing. What we need, you're good. And you're not inside of Accra because I know Accra can be very like pricey and all the things. So, child, you're good. And I tell folks too because like somebody was saying earlier that the Gambia doesn't have a lot, and it's true. Like it can get very boring. And I was saying it's true. You know, I'm the wrong person to. Hey, Junior, how are you? How was soccer? Okay, welcome back. Oh, okay, I'm on a live. Uh, It's okay. Hi. Sorry guys, my son just came back. Yeah, you don't need a lot. And I was saying too, like we act as if we can't travel. You want to party and you're in the Gambia, go to Dakar. Go back to the US, like go to Paris, go to, like if you cut down, like if you have a remote job that's paying you $15 an hour and you are in the Gambia or in Ghana and you own your house, right? And your bills are like $1,000 a month. You got your little 2,000 left. You save 1,500. That's $500 that you got. That's $500. After 2 months, that's 1,000, right? Like we act as if a flight, I don't know, from New York to Accra, I don't know if is it $1,800? You can go and party for a month, 2 weeks, okay? And you have a remote job, 3 weeks at your sister house, your cousin's house, like we act as if this relocating thing is like a all or nothing thing. Oh, my husband is back. I'll see if he want to join me on this live. How am I going to have him join? Because he has really good answers, y'all. So it'd be good to have his opinion on here too. Listen, talk about peace of mind. Can you talk about it? Let's talk about peace of mind. Let's talk about it. Because there's such thing as, when I go to the US, I'm just always like, bruh, everybody's stressed. Everybody's on the go. Everybody is chasing the next. I'm not saying you shouldn't, like, I'm not sitting here saying, you know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't. I mean, we run businesses and all the things. So we are busy here too, but it's different. There's a difference between chasing something that you can never have, chasing to be accepted. There's something about like saying, yo, the police is about to pull me up. Hey, let me not wear a hoodie. Yo, let my child not go to some island with some kids and then we can't find the kid. I had to call my son and say, oh, let's download the app 360. When he was here, I wasn't worried about like, let me track your location. I wasn't, so there is peace of mind that like you can get on the continent and not everybody understands that, and I don't know how to explain it, where you don't feel like you have to justify your presence everywhere you go, where you don't feel like you have to code switch, where you feel like you can breathe. Just think about, like, let's talk about just the pressure, right? Where it's like the house I grew up in that my dad built when I was 8 years old. It's the same house he lives in. In Cameroon and in most places on the continent, the house you built, your family house, is the house you have. There's no such thing as the market is better, let me upgrade. There's no such thing as a dream house. The house you built is the house you got. And it's the house you stay in, God willing, until you die. There's no like, oh, now that I'm making more money, there's a better school system on this other area. Let me just go ahead, and I'm talking about pressure that I know so many people are under. Like, oh, it was my starter home. What you mean? Oh, I need, when I first moved to the Gambia, y'all, the first Christmas, I've had the same Christmas tree for the past 5 years. Because where are you going to buy the other tree? But when I was in the US, I was like, oh no, what color are we doing today? Let me know if this resonates with anybody, where there's just this extra pressure that you don't even know you are facing or you have until you step out of that system. And I used to be like, oh, I'm not a spender, da, 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 but somehow, oh, we have to decorate outside the house. It's Halloween. Is this holiday? It's in the Gambia. I don't like what you're talking about. We might be the one of the few houses that even have a Christmas tree. So guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna use the same tree. We're gonna So there's not that extra pressure. And I think that it's crazy to talk about it because you assume that peer pressure is not something adults face. You know what I mean? You feel like, oh, it's kids. I don't have peer pressure. But why do you keep changing your cell phone? Your old iPhone worked just fine. Why a new phone? Why a new? Why a new? So when we are talking about peace of mind, I'm talking about from a safety perspective. I'm talking about from an expenditure perspective. I'm talking about trying to keep up with the Joneses. Even for those people that feel like they're not trying to keep up, trust me, the system is set up so that you try to keep up, even when you think you're not trying to keep up. Like it's a lot. It's a lot. Maury said, we'll be moving to Liberia in 2.5 years. Yes, currently finishing up our home, and Liberia have Starlink approved. Let's go. Congratulations. We'll gladly give up the rat race. I'm so proud of you because you're planning. Nothing beats planning. Nothing beats planning. Someone said that if you try Gambia, you forget about Ghana. Listen, we had a friend who had bought land in the Gambia, and we told him to just come and visit the Gambia. Do you know he stopped his project in Ghana and bought land here and is building? You know, I feel like the Gambia is one of those places that you either get it or you don't. Like it's just be aware that you might just like it's one of those things places that just grab your heart and you might just fall in love with the place and you're like that was not my plan. So I tell people just be aware that the Gambia has that effect. So I agree with you, Suleiman. It's a system that's in place. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I've had the same couch, same rugs. I would have already same comforter. I was telling my husband, I need. Okay, now I'm gonna need some new comforters. But when I was in the US, every 3 to 4 months, I'm at Home Goods. Oh, I need a new vibe. I just need a new, a new color scheme, and I'm buying a new comforter. I'm buying because you have access. You have, child. Hmm. Maybe I would. Ghana is my soft landing, but I feel so free now to explore all options. Listen, Ghana is nice. I fell in love with Ghana too. Ghana is really nice. So I'm happy for you. But yes, come and check us out. Come and check us out. It's not far. So come and check us out as well. Let me see if my husband will come. Hold on. Let me see if I can beg him. Let's see. What questions, ladies and gentlemen? What questions can I answer for you? And what videos? So I got a video idea around the best beaches here in the Gambia. What other videos, topics, things do you guys want to see more of on my channel? Please let me know. Let me know because sometimes I'll be like, I don't know what else to record, child. So let me know. I'm so excited for some of you. Like people are planning, y'all are mapping out like your exit strategy and you're actually doing it, building and putting things in place. Yes. Oh, thank you. Let me know what else you want to see because it's not always easy to figure it out. Oh, Mr. K, come now. I've called your name. Oh, really? I've called your name here so many times that we started a drinking game. That anytime I call your name, people should drink. And I was like, oh, my husband and I were talking. I told them, can y'all still hear me? I told them that we'll have to start a drinking game because this is too much. I have some people. I got folks on here. Say hi.
Hi everyone. This is one lagging.
Yes.
Sorry,
Ah,
I'm sweaty. I went to play football.
you went to play soccer. Yes, you know that it's a little bit behind because the Wi-Fi now. We have a few people on, babe, that are already planning like a building in Sierra Leone, in Ghana, prepping to exit. The topic is around like what are you willing to give up? What are you going to be willing to give up in order for you to relocate? Is what we're talking about. And so I was talking about like, are you willing to be like take a pay cut? Are you willing to become an entrepreneur? And some people were sharing already like they're willing to get away from the BS. And they've already started planning and building and things. So that was the
Nice.
Maurice said hi.
Hey, Maurice.
Oh, okay. Maurice
Maurice.
said, my wife is a nurse practitioner. We are trying to figure out her work situation when we move. Any ideas?
I know that NPs can work remote, right?
And they're moving in like to
A lot of
Liberia in
them
two and a
work
half
remote.
years.
Like I know we have friends who work from home for the most part. Meet with their patients remotely and do their consultations and stuff like that.
Okay,
Especially
like
psych MDs,
mm-hmm.
they do a lot of that. So if you can get that, man, you'll be good.
And they're moving to Liberia. And he says Starlink is approved in Liberia, so Wi-Fi will not be
I think Starlink is approved in Liberia. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, remote is true. It's true because
hmm
what else can she? It's not like she will want to. How much would they pay her in the hospital?
No, you don't want to come. You don't want to come to Africa to work. You want to come to Africa to do your own thing, build something for yourself. I don't think there is any uh, health institution in Africa that can pay her what she's worth, unless, of course, you have like one of these non-profit organizations or these multinationals. They pay really well. They tend to pay really well, especially if you get it like, say, you're based in the US and then you get in and you're willing to relocate to Africa. It's definitely it's a good way to start. Then you get to live as an expat. You get the salaries and the school fees paid for, the tuition paid for the kids. You get housing and all of that stuff. Those guys really have it good.
Oh, adult. Okay, her specialty is adult primary care. Oh,
Okay.
okay.
I don't know much about.
No, meaning like a primary care doctor now.
Yeah, yeah, I get that. Yeah.
But I don't know. That'll be an interesting thing. The good thing is I have 2.5 years. Huh.
What do you mean that?
He said that they're building and they're thinking about moving in 2.5 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Maybe, yeah, because sometimes even those insurance companies and things will hire and let you work remote, like mom now. Okay.
So, Joya, know that it's nice to meet you. Your wife is a great host. Oh,
You know.
ATL in the house.
ATL?
Can you tell me how security in the Gambia works? What do you mean by how security in the Gambia works? Like security companies or what's?
Tell us more. Tell us more.
Yeah, Suleiman. Yeah, yeah. Maybe if I, just be specific. That way, I can really answer your question. Are you looking to start a security company? Yeah.
Someone asked earlier what Suleiman tells us. Best internet provider.
Oh, uh, that's a battle of the losers. It's pick your. What do they say?
Pick your poison.
Pick your poison. We have Gamtel, which is fiber optics. I would say that that's the best as far as I'm concerned, and not because it's faster, but just because it's probably the most consistent. So you get to have it on for longer than the others, but they're all just as bad, man. To be quite honest with you, we have Starlink, which really helps. I have Starlink both at the office and at the house, and then we have Gamtel more as a secondary option
But
because
Starlink stopped even working
the speed is
earlier.
really low.
I was first on Starlink. It stopped working well. I was buffering, then I had to move. So I was telling them you need more than one. But I was also saying what you told me about roaming, that they're about to make it absolute, right? So
Mhm,
Starlink won't be working soon.
mhm, mhm.
Is that correct?
Yeah, it won't be working soon.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, that's what I
they
was
have a
saying.
new thing, but this black market guys, they'll come up with a solution. That's not going to be the end of it. They'll find a way. They'll come up with another way because Starlink has been updating that roaming aspect for a long time. Every time they change something, these guys find a way
Hmm.
to make it work.
Okay.
So you're saying it's private security in the Gambia, well controlled by the CEO. Okay, did you get that?
Mm-mm. Suleiman, when you say is it well controlled by their CEO, meaning the owner of the CEO of the security company? Maybe he, I don't know.
Okay, while he's clearing that up, DIA just said something. As a Senegambian, please don't move to Africa unless you have a steady income in foreign currencies periodically.
I've said that. I agree. Because money is the reason why most people go back.
I will say this: it depends on how bad you want it.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have a steady income periodically. Well, initially when we moved, we did, but eventually we lost it, and we had to build something for ourselves. So I would say, don't move if you don't have enough saved up to where you can start something and effectively build it to what you want it to be, right? And the challenge is usually adapting to the way of doing things in another place. I would not base my move on necessarily receiving money. It's great. I think it's a great thing. What he's saying is true. But I'm saying, how bad do you really want to? How bad do you really want it? Because if we didn't lose all the income that we had, I don't know that any of my businesses here would be where they are. Like Foxeye will not be where it is now if I didn't lose that safety nest. Do you understand what I'm saying?
So the question is, right? If somebody is watching and they don't have a job, should they move to Africa?
No, if again, like I said, it depends. If you have money saved, if you have money saved up, and you have a bit of money to start a business,
Hmm.
I would say why not? Because it'll
Okay, you
work.
guys heard from.
Sometimes you have to take a risk. Sometimes you have to take that step without necessarily seeing the staircase. If you have enough money
Mhm.
saved up, and you have enough money where you could take a chunk of that and actually start something. Africa is the only place where the cost of starting a business is not as high. You know, it doesn't require so that much of you, right?
Hmm.
So you can start something and be able to sustain yourself while you're waiting for the big thing to go off. So it's really based on your situation. But if you
Mhm.
don't have any money saved up and you don't have a job, I would not recommend it. Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, he does 6 months in Africa and 6 months
Oh, nice.
in Sierra
Atlanta.
Leone. That is the best life, man. You have the life, man. That is the life, hybrid. I think that's one of the things that I think you and I were kind of talking about it earlier, where we're not necessarily preaching pack up and leave. I've never ever advised that. I've never ever asked people to, I don't know, or have you? I've never ever advised people to just pack up the things and leave the US. That would be stupid. What I do preach, however, is optionality, right? Having that option where you're there, you leverage it, and then you build here. Kind of like what he's saying now: 6 months here, 6 months in Africa. Eventually, that 6 months here and there will eventually turn into full time here, or 8 months here and 4 months there. Before you know, 9 months, 3 months. As you get older, you want to stay here much longer. So that's really that's what I believe in. That to me is the format that I really believe in. If you're able to sustain it, because it is expensive, flying back and forth if you have a family and things of that nature. But that's what I really like.
Hmm. Mhm.
Okay, I'm not sure what topics that you have covered in the past, but always topics of interest would be healthcare, investment, opportunities, schools, both elementary and secondary. as well as living costs. Yeah. Yeah, we've covered a lot of those topics on our channels, individual channels. I think she does a lot. She does those a lot more than I do. I just mostly talk about business and things like that. But
Yeah. No,
yeah,
saving
he
depletes
says
fast.
savings deplete very
I'm
fast.
not even
That
gonna
is very
hold you.
true. Savings deplete very fast.
Listen,
Yeah,
you gotta
yeah,
have your
yeah.
money.
Because it gets expensive, especially if you want to maintain a kind of a high standard of living and things like that.
It
Um,
goes.
Fast, yeah, 100%.
I agree. And I think there's a lot of YouTubers that come and be like, oh, you can have this house for 150, this mansion for 150 a month. Da, da, da. And so a lot of people come with unrealistic budgets, and then you come and you're like, I thought that my $300 a month was enough to. No, it's not. For most people, it's not. Just on food. So I agree with you. That's a good point. Someone said, security company owner controlling their worker.
I think I understand what he's trying to. I think he's trying to understand how much work you have to put in as a CEO or as a
Of a
I
security
guess
company.
running a company and things like that. You have to be very very hands on. And as of right now, I mean, like, I have two phones. The supervisors are calling deployment. It's 9 o'clock. Some people are coming in late. You have to know everything that's happening within the company. I think that's the worst part. Like I had to literally flip. I had to switch my way of thinking. Delete the American way of doing things and then adapt to how things are done here. And here, the truth is, there's a Gambian in here who can attest to it. Things are a lot slower, right? The work ethic is a bit lagging.
We talked about it
Um,
earlier. Somebody said it.
there's just not that hunger. It just isn't there. So you have to find other ways to be able to motivate workers to go to work, and it's a tough environment to do business. It's a tough environment to do business. The only thing that keeps me going is when you think about the upside. When I think about the upside, I think that the sky is the limit for where Gambia is going to be in the next 10 years. That's what I'm thinking.
That's what keeps you
It
going.
has to be a long game, guys. If it's a short term thing,
You will pack and
it'll
go.
wear out really fast, and before you know it, by year two, you won't even want to be here anymore. It has to be a long game. Yeah, that's as a diaspora. Don't go to Africa.
Looking for
I missed
jobs.
that. Don't go to Africa looking for jobs. Instead, create jobs. Be an
Yes.
employer.
We should put it on a t-shirt. If we could put it on a t-shirt, babe. We'll put it on a t-shirt.
Totally agree with that. Totally agree with that.
Yes.
There must be a plan to place relative to having sustainable income. Yes, I agree. There must be a plan in place relative to having a sustainable income, but that shouldn't be a matter.
That's true.
That should be no matter where you live. Yeah, right.
That's true.
Right. There must be realistic expectations set.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree. And also people remembering that the Africa they left behind is not what it is. There's so many of my cost living videos, people argue with me when I tell them what things cost. And I'm like, I don't know why you're arguing with me. The Gambia of 5 years ago, the Gambia of 3 years ago, or even last year is not the same. Now, 1 kilo of meat is $600. Yo, it wasn't long ago, it was 350. So if you were here 2 years ago and I'm giving you an updated thing, cost of living in the Gambia, and you're arguing, I don't know why you're arguing with me. Or when I tell you about cash power, things are evolving everywhere on the coast. So it's not as cheap as it used to be. And so having realistic expectation, updated conversation. Even for me, when I go to Cameroon, I'm arguing with people that, was soya not this price? Was this thing not, it used to be. And I think there's a lot of unrealistic expectation. Yes, it's cheaper than if you live in New York. In some countries, because Accra today is not Accra rent and Atlanta rent. I don't know if it's that different. So having updated numbers is very important so that you can plan accordingly. And also remember, some people are relocating and moving home. They're gonna stay. They can stay with their dad. They can stay with their mom. They have that as a backup You can't, so you got to really know and understand the level of risk. I never want people to come and be stranded because some YouTuber told you that, oh, you can live in Africa for $500 a month. Because, yeah.
The West is so overrated, except
There's nothing like home.
making money. There's nothing like home.
Yeah.
Amen to that, brother. Modulami. Do I know Modulami? I know a couple of Modulami.
I was going to ask you that. Did you?
This is one of the Modulamis that I know. But
That's true.
that's actually great.
It's true.
But I think you and I today were talking about finding your tribe, speaking to the right people who are ready to receive the message that you're passing across. And we talked about Maslow's hierarchy, right?
Indeed, yes.
And that was such a revealing conversation because for me, like you said, we are speaking to a particular set of people. I don't think our message is for everyone. If you're someone who just went to the US the last 7 years or maybe even 10 years, I would say maybe it may be too early for you to start having these conversations because you probably just got your papers, you probably just got a job. You
just got your car.
I think we're saying that in regards to the comment you got from your previous video that you had to respond to. And I'm just like, everyone is not going to get it. If you're not in that particular point in time in your life, I don't think you would even understand. There's some people that just won't even entertain the conversation because they just don't get it. By the time we decided to move, we had done over 20 years. I had done 25 years.
I done 19.
20 years. So I was looking for something totally different, right? I'm already thinking retirement. I'm already thinking, okay, when is this going to stop? So my mission in Africa is different. And that played a huge factor into why Gambia. So when people ask me why Gambia, I don't even know where to start because there's so many layers to how it was very much a business decision, guys. It wasn't because we were so in love with the place and it was so beautiful and so advanced. No, it wasn't anything about that. It was thinking about our budget, where would it last us the longest, because there was no plan, there was no going back plan. That's the first thing. It was thinking about, okay, where could the kids be more settled and assimilate better? Because remember, again, our target was Dakar. We were going to Dakar. So it was factoring in all those things and then coming down to say, you know what, the good and the bad, I think this is the best place to be. And I would take me back, I would make the same decision. What would you? I don't know.
Oh, I asked you that earlier today, right? That like, if knowing everything you know, if you are sitting in Frisco, Texas today, and you are picking, are you picking the Gambia?
I am. If I know now where the Gambia is going, absolutely. Because the goal for me living in the US has always been one thing: build legacy, and this will be my shortest route to what I'm trying to build, as opposed to going to a place that is so competitive and you have to fight and hustle with other heavy pockets and places where you have less deeper roots. You know what I mean? The Gambia, for me personally, kind of like just closed that gap a lot faster than any other country would have done that for me.
Makes sense.
So you get what I'm saying?
No, it makes sense.
If you give me 10 years in the Gambia and you give me those same 10 years in Nigeria or in Ghana, I will go a lot farther here than I would in those two other countries. For so many reasons.
Oh, what are top 3 reasons?
Just the availability of opportunity, first of all. That's one, right? Accra is we all know Accra is crowded. Lagos, where are you going in Nigeria? Lagos, where are you going? There are so many Nigerians. Look at how many Nigerians are coming here looking for better life. Look at what the currency has done. What has happened to the currency, to the naira today, right? So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the aspect of just way of life, right? Let's talk about the aspect of just the 2 degree of separation aspect here in the Gambia. It's such a small country, and they're so humble. And you could literally run into a minister within 24 hours if you wanted to. Where else would you do that? Where else would you run into a minister? Where else would you run into a mayor? right?
The head of a telecommunication.
Where else would you do?
Like,
Where else would you run into that?
get their phone number. Like
So
where?
then you come to realize to be successful, there's a level of power. There's a level of proximity to power that you need, and you just don't get that anywhere else the way you do here. If you're in Nigeria, if you don't have a lot of money, there are just certain people you will never meet.
A lot.
Here you will meet them without having that amount of money. So there's so many reasons. There's so many reasons, but I will pick the Gambia any time over any of those countries. Not because it's the most well packaged or it's the most pretty. No.
Wow, that's powerful, That's powerful what you just said. That's very powerful. And I hope everybody capture what you said around how to look at the decision. It shouldn't be an emotional decision. When you decide to move to America or Germany or whatever, it wasn't an emotional. You didn't say, "Oh, where do I like to go? Who has the nice road?" It was definitely an economical decision. Like, where can I get to? Like, where can I get my papers the fastest? And that's another thing people don't know. That to be able, just because you move to a country doesn't mean that you are allowed to start. Not every country in Africa allows you to just start a business within 3 months of moving there. That's the thing that Gambia is good at, but not every. Remember, I was telling you about that my friend that moved and had to move back because till now they don't have their papers and to be able to start a business. And she didn't know that when she was moving from Germany.
Say that again.
You said they moved to where? Namibia.
Namibia.
They moved to Namibia, right?
They papers in Namibia or something?
Yeah, she had to move back. They had started a business, but they were not legally supposed to be able to start that business. She had to, and the business was doing well, but she had to move back.
They moved back to Germany?
Yes, I didn't tell you, babe. I didn't tell you this.
Wow.
They moved back with the whole family because they could not be there longer than whether it's 6 months or without leaving the country. But is it 3 months? So every 3 months they had to fly to Germany, come back. Till now they don't have permanent anything. They're not supposed. The kids can't even go to school without papers.
Really?
We stayed on the phone for 1 year, for 1 hour here talking about it. I was so shocked.
There's so much opportunity for growth in the Gambia because it's not as saturated as other African countries.
Yes.
Absolutely, Modu, absolutely. There's so much opportunity here.
Yes.
There's so much opportunity. You will have to go through some hoops, stress dealing with, the obvious stuff. But if you look at when we complain about workers, we complain about workers in every African country, right? I have friends doing business in Nigeria, in Cameroon, in Ghana. The complaint is the same. So, for what it's worth, doing it here is so much better. And I'm hearing so many nice things about Liberia and Sierra Leone now. I understand there's still healing and stuff like that, but the opportunities are endless, guys.
Yeah.
The opportunities are endless. Sorry, my English is not very good because I'm living in Germany and speak Dutch. Guten Tag.
I told him to write in Dutch and we'll answer we'll translate.
Guten Morgen.
She said, yes, the propaganda, you already read that, in the West is strong and create this overrated narrative. We're talking about how they have so many rats. You were talking about water. Right, the lady, in her comment, she said that you can't even drink, the water is dirty. And you were telling me how in New York, you can't, somebody posted in a comment that in New York, they don't drink tap water. And then I remember that in Texas, we only drank bottled water anyway. And then we're talking about how many rats, huge rats are in New York. But when you think of New York, that's not what you think about. There's a way that they package it, make you feel where you don't even see the negativity at all. But when we think of Africa, we spend so much time only talking about, as much as we can explain to people, no, but it's this, is that. It's like that machine is so strong, babe. That propaganda machine is so strong.
I mean, they orchestrated it for 400 years.
You gotta preach.
Something that was orchestrated for over 400 years, so we don't expect it to just change overnight. But I think it's gradually changing.
That is true. I think social media.
Just my generation alone, and the younger generation, I think it's changing. And I don't know that our job is to change it overnight. I think it just starts small. It will take another 400 years.
Oh wow!
So we may not live long enough to see it, But I think that
Perspective.
what it is that Africans need to start trusting themselves and start living intentionally. I think a lot of people, especially when I visit back, I see so many people. It's like they're so proud to tell you how they work so much and they don't really. It's almost like it's a compliment now. Oh, you know how it is here. We're just
Yes.
walking and walking. I'm like,
Yes.
it's not good.
Yes.
Your nervous system is not okay. And I know because I lived it for 25 years, and I'm still healing, and I'm 6 years in, and I'm still healing. It's not human. So I think we need to learn to decide to live the way we want to live a lot more. You see a lot of people quitting and going to Bali, Indonesia, going to all of these places.
Somebody said they
Coming
moved
here
to
is
Thailand.
one of those things. Thailand is a big one, right? Um, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. You'll be amazed what you will find out about yourself once you step back from the machine and you're looking at it from outside. There are some things I've witnessed when I go back and I live in my sister's basement and I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, I don't realize things were this bad when I was here. You know, I have to catch myself sometimes. I'm like, all right, I can't wait to just go back. Let me just go back. But when I'm here for so long, I want to get out and go
Take a little
experience
break.
some fancy before coming back. So yeah, I mean, I always tell people once you notice it, once
Once
your
you've seen
heart
it.
starts telling you it's time to go,
Yeah.
it will bug you for 10 years.
You
I don't
can't
care how
unsee
long
it.
it takes you. Once you've seen what's outside that box, you cannot go back to it.
Not sure.
And if you've seen it, then that's it. Just start working towards it.
Yeah.
You know. And the only advice I would give people: don't do it on your own. Rely on the community. Reach out to people who are wherever you are. It is that you decide to move.
That's true.
Go there, talk to people. Don't live like an expat. Live like a local. Be
I
an
said that.
actual local.
I said that all the
You
time.
know, and be a part of them because Africans, in most African countries, at least the ones I've been to, the Africans are just naturally very friendly people.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't care what part of Africa you're going to. Africans are naturally very friendly and very welcoming. And once they can see your heart, they can see that you are really willing to be there. That someone is going to hold your hand. Someone is going to help you. I won't be here and successful 6 years in without Gambians helping me. I can tell you that some of my best friends in this country, I mean, you know them, but my best friend here is a Gambian, you know, and you need that to be able to survive. You need that to be able to and you know be genuine and be real, be a friend. Forget that they're not from where you're from or you're, you know, and before you realize it, you won't even consider yourself a foreigner. You won't even consider yourself a non-Gambian or wherever you are. I feel at home here. You know.
And be humble, right? Like, don't bring this slave master mentality, in your friendship. I think a lot of the time we do that, and you turn people off, where you come in with this air of like I'm better than, and it really turns people off too. So make sure, yeah.
Yeah. Once you figure it out, I mean, how many Gambians call me from the US for advice on what to do? So many, right? They'll call and say, "Hey, man, what do you think about this area? What do you think about this? Or what do you think about that?" And these are Gambians who were born here,
Yeah.
but they understand that they haven't been around because there's been a huge change in such a
Yes.
short period of time.
Yes.
If you've not been to Gambia in the last 10 years as a Gambian, you are in for it. I mean, it's a totally different country,
That's true.
right? So. Yes, humility, empathy, understanding is what it takes. And don't be overly critical. Don't come here expecting America.
America.
Don't come here expecting the UK.
No.
Come here expecting Gambia or Nigeria or Ghana or wherever you're going to. And it'll work out, man. It'll work out. People are making it. I'm telling you, people are making it.
What were we this? Yes, we. I think.
Okay. Suleiman says he's working as a police officer with the German government and wants to open a security company in the Gambia.
Oh,
Can you
nice.
tell me how to begin?
Oh,
Yeah, Suleiman, reach out to me, man. Reach out to me. I'll put my email on there. I can definitely help you out. There's so
It's a
many
process.
security companies here in the Gambia, but I mean, there's always room for more. There's always room for more, and with your experience, for sure, you will definitely do well in that space. But yeah, reach out to me and we'll talk more about it. We can set up a call and actually talk, and I'll give you all the information you need, brother.
okay. Uh, we are here. Why Jamba said
Why
why
Gambia?
Gambia? Peace and tranquility to ease of doing business. Oh, okay. Small size. Gambia is untapped territories, which equates to better opportunity. Absolutely.
Yes.
Oh, that is so good. If I could like this comment, I would. I don't know how to do it. But that's really good. Thank you for sharing that. Shanna said, yes, they hide their negative aspect of living in the state and offer their delusion instead. Shanna is from Atlanta. Well, she's Gambian but lives in Atlanta and is planning her return. She has a 1-year-old.
Ah, okay. There are a lot of Gambians in Atlanta.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
When I went for my
Oh, for
cousin's
the wedding.
wedding,
That's
my
true.
cousin married a Gambian
That's true.
young lady, and in Atlanta, man, I saw so many Gambians who've been in Atlanta for 30, 40 years.
Oh,
Never came
wow.
back.
Oh, wow. Okay. Gracious said, hey, peeps, shout out to you. Oh, shout out to you. Thank you. Yep, Africans are hospitable. That's why outsiders have taken our kind nature. Yep, to our detriment sometimes. You're absolutely right. You are right.
Everyone needs to see coming back to Africa as a business move. No, I mean, going to the West is a strategic move. I don't think anybody is moving to America for peace of mind. None of us went to America for family and peace of mind or anything like that. We went there to develop ourselves. We went there to get money. We went there to improve our lives, right? And we need to start seeing Africa like that as well. If you're coming back, know that you're coming back to improve your life. You're coming back to invest. You're coming back to improve your situation and tag on to your legacy. And I think once you start looking at it like that, it becomes quite complicated once you start looking at it like, oh, how am I going to adapt? How did you adapt when you went to the US? You were willing to take anything. You were willing to accept racism. You were willing to accept discrimination. You're willing to accept the harsh weather. You're willing to accept just learning a language barrier, wherever from whatever African country you're coming from. You're willing to do that because you had a goal in mind. You wanted your papers. Some people get married to horrible people, and they're willing to stay there because they want their papers. So Africa needs to be the exact same way. I really don't understand when Africans come here or people from the West come here and they're like, oh, it's too hot. There's no water. There's no electricity, and there's no what. It really bothers me because it tells me you are seeing it as you have options. And because you have options, it's easy to underlook what you currently have. But if you see it for what it could be, then you would invest. Then you will see it as an investment, right? But you won't be able to tell in 10 years, right? But if you're in your 40s, I say this all the time, if you're in your 40s in the West, as an African-born person, or any one of this, skin tone, Africa is where you actually want to be because that's where you have the greater upside.
My Lord.
That's where you have the greater upside. You have the skills, you have the education, you have the exposure, you have everything in your favor to succeed here.
My gosh.
You just have to be like you're talking about. What are you willing to give up? What you're willing to give up is a small aspect of convenience. That's about it. That's about it. What?
Will you die?
Less than 100% availability of electricity, less than 100% availability of water. Is that the problem? I don't.
Nobody is
I
pulling
don't
you
get it.
over and you're worried that they will shoot you.
You know,
You know?
I don't get it. So you need to really see it as not just a spiritual journey, but it's really see it as an investment. See it as a long-term investment for
My
yourself.
gosh.
Um, you know,
Wow.
the reason life insurance companies are making so much money is because they are promising something that you don't know when you're going to get it, but you just know you have peace of mind that when you die, you will receive your family will get a certain amount of money. What if Africa is your life insurance?
Ooh.
But you have to be here to build it because if you're here, then you won't even need it. That's the goal, right? That's the goal.
Wow. Did you just say, you said a lot, oh. Did you just say
You called me here now.
Well, somebody they have to pay you. This cannot be free. This has to be a webinar. Did you just say that Africa is then your life insurance, but the difference is that you have to be here to build it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, okay, baby daddy. That's a whole. That's a whole. That's a whole thing. Wow.
We're doing two things at the same time right now. We just us, right? We have three kids. One of them is already back for college. We're trying to make sure that we retire well, and we're trying to make sure that we don't end up in our son's house, living in the basement or something.
Or in a group home, I know,
when we're
nursing home
old.
somewhere. Yeah.
That to me, those are the people we're speaking to, people who are in that same situation. And how do you go about doing that to where you don't have to rely on retirement money in the US? $2,000. Who's going to survive off of that? You don't even know if you will get it by the time you get to retirement. Because we all know how Social Security is playing games with our money right now. So you don't know what that situation is going to be. They're struggling to fund the people that are already about to retire right now, right? So the only other thing is to now invest in these other vehicles, right? Life insurance and things of that nature. That's how they are getting in these life insurance schemes. That's how they are getting everyone. But the only reality is thinking how to come back and live a better life. That's the only reality. You have a place you call your home where you don't owe any money on it. You don't owe any taxes.
Yeah, no
You build
property
your own
tax.
house. You're self-sustainable, meaning you have your farm where you can plant your own food and you eat what you grow.
Put your solar
And
in your borehole.
I'm not even worried about all of these things because that's just money. You have money, you get your solar, then you won't even worry about electricity. That's why I don't understand how people bring up this argument of electricity.
Electricity.
If you have money, then you should be able to have all the backup that you need.
Yeah.
With backup, you won't even notice when power goes out.
That is the truth.
You know
Remember
what I
how
mean?
they were telling him your
You won't
friend
even
was
notice when
on?
power
He
goes
didn't
out.
even know power was out.
And then the next thing is you want to be able to start a business. Are you entrepreneurial? If you're not entrepreneurial, then invest in the people that are already on the ground and be there to make sure that you get your investments and you get your return. You can't tell me you're in Africa and you don't know what business to do. There's business everywhere. Everywhere is a business. If I had enough money, I would have 10 businesses right now.
Yeah, we're launching our cleaning business. Fox Eye Cleaning.
Everywhere is a business. So
Send us clients.
once you talk about that, then what then is the problem? What then is the problem? Except it's the comfort, the paycheck that you get every couple of weeks. Right? Then you forget about the stress, and then you get the paycheck, and that's really what it is. It boils down to that, and that's why you see nowadays people are not even willing to retire. People at 60s, they're still working.
They don't want to retire.
They don't want to retire.
They're so used to the struggle.
Well, for the most part, they cannot afford to retire.
Oh.
Let's start there. Healthcare, what healthcare? It's so expensive. When was the last time you went to the hospital? When was the
Kizzy
last
said
time
that
you
her
went to
bill
the
is
ER?
1,000. She was
Right.
in the ER.
When was
And
the
she has
last time you
insurance.
signed up for insurance when you were signing up for a job and you see the price for what family plan would cost you out of your paycheck, right? So what are we talking about?
Mm. You said a lot.
Morris is saying Africa is definitely calling us back home. Whenever we visit, we don't want to come back. That's how you know. That's how you know it's time, Morris. Whenever you visit, you don't want to go back. That's how you know. And whenever I go back, I want to be back here.
Remember her mom? My mom was going to America. She cried at the airport that she doesn't want to go to America. I said, until you are crying.
America will always be our second home, but Africa has our heart. Absolutely. America is a tool. America is a tool that we intend to use. It's a benefit that we intend to use. We've put in our time, we've earned it, we've earned the blue passport, and we intend to milk it, run it till the wheels fall off, right? Raise as much money as we can. That's the benefit that you guys have over there. You have the ability to raise capital. Because that's at the end of the day, this is a privileged conversation, guys. I really want us to understand that. It's a conversation of privilege. Poor people don't get to have these types of conversation. If you don't have money, you shouldn't even engage in this type of conversation. This is the conversation. This is how the rich get rich. they get richer, right? When things go down, they go in there and they buy up everything, and you wonder why they keep staying rich. This is the type of conversations we're having. This is about owning our share. This is about owning a piece of what belongs to us. Because all the other communities that are here owning everything. How many Gambians own land by the beach? Any of those quarters by the beach? How many of them are Gambian owned?
Listen.
You know, so that's the conversation we're having. It's about it's about legacy. It's about owning a piece of something that belongs to you, that you've earned. And once you see it that way, I think it'll open up all other possibilities, and then you will start ignoring the little stuff. The last thing I like to have, the last conversation I want to have is come online, and I'm talking about no power, no electricity, and all of that stuff. For me, it's just a waste of, it's just a waste of time. I mean, not when people are coming from Lebanon, countries where they have all this war and all of that stuff, and they're coming here and they're making a killing. You know, everyone sees Africa as an opportunity, but Africans. Everyone sees Africa as an opportunity, but Africans. That's really the conversation we should be having. That's the conversation we should be having. Why are we not looking at this as an opportunity? Why is it that every time the topic of Africa comes up, it feels like it's a debt we're going to repay? Rory Curtis, just out of curiosity, is the Gambian airport still charging $1,000? It's now $1,400,
my dear. or if you're coming in dollars, $20 or €20, but it's $1,400.
Yeah, it's now $1,400.
It's there.
Airport tax.
Unbelievable.
That's none of my business. Just pay it.
And come.
Don't worry. Don't even worry. I don't engage in conversations that I have no control over.
Pay.
I can only focus on what I can control. When I made the decision to stay in Africa, it's not like I didn't know what Africa was. It's not like I wasn't aware. It's not like I was oblivious to the corruption. I'm from Cameroon. We mastered corruption. So coming here to me was an exercise of how far am I willing to go? How deep am I willing to go in spite of the situations that are in place? And once you're able to block your eyes through some of those things, it's a wrap.
Hi, Epic Motivation 360. That's like he's always commenting. Thank you so much, subscribing, and like always supporting the channel. So good to have you on the live. Yes, that is a conversation that should be had. That is a conversation.
Everyone, what's epic motivation? Yeah, absolutely. Everyone sees the potential. Everyone talks about it. People are here taking it. You know, and Gambia is one of the smallest countries in the world, so I don't like to have conversation and talk too much about Gambia, because I do understand where Gambia stands as far as the African continent is concerned. It's really tiny. It's really small. It doesn't have any natural resources to boast of. We're not even talking about the Congo or Rwanda or Cameroon or Nigeria or anything like that. But you know, Africa as a continent is really struggling with trying to, like, we're the ones that feel like we have to convince people to see our potential. You know, and those that are grabbing the bull by the horns, those that don't need a reminder of how great they are, those are the ones that are actually taking advantage, and they're milking it. Every friend that I have in this country that runs a business, I would say 80% of that business actually was started by their parents.
Oh wow!
All these bars, all these restaurants, all of these things, that land used to be owned by their parents.
That is true. Legacy.
They were able to establish those businesses.
Legacy.
You know, so we spend so much time discussing things that shouldn't even be a topic of conversation. You know, shouldn't even be a topic of conversation. The people that should be looking at Africa are the people that have earned their keep in the West, and you've been exposed to the truth, which is you realize what a dream America is. Once you've understood what a dream America is, why continue dreaming? Why not actually start living? Right? and how do you live. It's not necessarily to pack up and go immediately. It's to plan it.
Mm-hmm.
It's to plan it the same way you plan your retirement. Why plan a retirement there when you can plan a reignition here?
Come
Because
on
here
with
you're
big
not
words.
retiring. You're just reigniting. You
Come
know what
on
I
with
mean?
words.
Why do that? Imagine what your life is going to look like living on maybe 100 acres. You have a
Mm.
farm. You have horses. You have, if you're into that kind of stuff,
Mhm.
you have a nice bungalow that you build for yourself. Because at that age, you're not worried about going upstairs and
Yeah.
things of that nature. You have a place where your kids can always come back. Your grandkids can come back and live with you.
They can build
You
their
can do
own.
whatever you want to do. You can give back to the community. You can actually reconnect back to your homeland.
We can
Why
mentor.
aren't we planning those lives? Why are we thinking about working until we're 60? Why are we talking about paying 30-year mortgages? Why are we buying 30-year mortgages in our 40s? When are you gonna pay it off? Why aren't you saving money here? Why aren't you opening up an account at a bank or credit union? Why aren't you taking those loans and actually building apartments? Real estate is always going to be a need. I don't care what country you are in Africa. If you build an apartment, people will rent it, and it's yours forever. Why aren't we doing that? That's the safest business. That's the
Yeah.
safest model. Build an apartment, save the penthouse for yourself and your family, or you and your wife, and rent the bottom. You already have yourself a job.
Yep.
Then you won't need that job when you're coming back. You won't need your NP wife to keep working. Now your wife can relax, and then you have a little bit of savings, and you have time to see, talk to people, and see what the opportunities are available in that particular country wherever you are. Start there. If you start there, I'm talking to those who are not moving tomorrow. I'm talking to those who are considering moving in the next 5 years. 5 years is enough to build you a story building wherever you are, wherever you're moving to. 5 years is enough. Get you a small plot of land. All it takes is one plot, right? And you are able to do that. I don't care where you do that, you will get your money back.
That's free game right there. In Gambia is owned. Okay, majority of the supermarket in Gambia is owned by Indian.
Yeah. Gambia, it's very easy to see how Gambia is demarcated when it comes to opportunities. Indians are into the supermarkets and some restaurants. Lebanese are into the restaurant and nightlife game. The Chinese, obviously, they like to do things that you don't see because they always like to sneak up on you. So they will be in mining places that you don't know. There are places you're going around and they have huge mines, just mining basalt, mining black sand, all of that stuff. They're into fishing. They have a boat in the water. They're taking up all the fish just straight to China. Right?
Marking up
So,
prices.
but you will never see them running the streets unless maybe they're doing road construction or anything like that. You don't get to see them because they're used to doing business in hiding.
Yes.
Africans are the ones that don't own a stake yet, and then Gambians are gradually losing the grip. So most of them are comfortable. I don't know if you call it comfort. And as a Cameroonian, when I sit back and I look at it, I'm like, okay, I can diagnose it. I can see exactly why things are the way they are. The Gambia is special in that regard. This is the only country where I'm yet to find a homeless Gambian. To be quite honest with you, I've never seen a Gambian who's homeless, unless maybe they have a mental problem. And even when they do have a mental problem, they're the ones that want to leave the family compound.
Yes.
They're not kicking them out. No woman is living outside of their home unless they're married. You won't see a Gambian lady living by themselves or anything like that. It doesn't exist. So there's a cultural thing to it as well that you have. Once you understand it, then you get to appreciate how they are as a people. But it's your responsibility to come in and assimilate to that. It's your responsibility to come in and understand it and respect it. Because if you don't, it's easy for you to call it lazy. It's easy for you to call it nonchalance, and it's easy for you to call it whatever it is, the terms that people want to call it when they come here. But those are just excuses. Those are excuses. So, but there's room for Gambians to come back and really build. Unfortunately, a lot of the Gambians that I see coming back, they perpetuate the same mindset that we do when most of us go back to Cameroon. We just want to say how bad the place is. They want to tell us how bad it is, and that's not what the country needs right now. It needs you to ignore how bad it looks and focus on what it could be, the potential that it has. Because I see it as a non-Gambian. It's so difficult for me to understand why you don't see it.
Thank you. Been working.
Gambia has 2.5 million people, roughly. I don't know how big we want a country to be, but I would say it doesn't matter what you sell. 2.5 customers is still 2.5 million customers. That's how I look at it. You know, you don't need to sell to 100 million people to survive. All you need is to sell to a quarter of the 2.5 and you're okay.
More than okay.
You're okay. I think, Foxeye is doing really well and we don't have up to 30 clients. Think about it. We don't have up to 30 clients. I would say we're about 27 or so. That's
About
less than
100
30
staff.
clients, and we're able to hire more than 100 people with just 30 businesses. That's basically what I'm saying. So, what potential do we have? Could we get to 100 businesses? How many staff will we have if we were able to get to 100 businesses? So, I see the numbers aspect, but it's really not that big a deal when you want to talk about what you're looking. How many people are you looking to sell? What I would say is it's not a country that is ready for a high ticket product. So you can come here and sell something that is too expensive because there's just not that many people that can afford it. That's the only thing. So everything that you can sell in Nigeria, you won't be able to sell. There are a lot of things you can sell in Lagos, you won't be able to sell here.
That's true.
They still don't understand what luxury is, right? That is part of. It's also entrenched in the culture of the people. It's not a show off.
No, it's not.
Most people don't wear shoes, right? It's sandy. You see a lot of people wearing sandals. And again, they're Muslims. They pray 5 times a day. So keeping the shoe on the entire day is not practical. It's not practical. So you will see most people, even you enter a minister's office, they are wearing slippers in their office. The shoes on the side because each time they have to wash their feet and all of that to perform their prayers. So by default, what do you need? How many pairs of shoes do you need? How many pairs of suits do you need? Where are you wearing suits to? It's hard as hell. So they don't prioritize a lot of the things that
show off life
in other African countries.
Yeah.
You will not see a Douala in Gambia. It doesn't exist. You will not see an Abidjan in Gambia or Lagos. The high life and things like that. Yeah, you have 1 or 2 people, but it's not priority. So there's also so much that you have to look at when it comes to their culture and their religion and all of those things. Yeah.
Modu said, growing up in the late 80s and early 90s, I would turn down a free land in Brufut Hype. But look at it now. That's what I heard, though.
Yeah.
That even Fajara, Marianne was saying that, but when her grandparents were buying land, it was not the it spot. It was not a thing. It was not like, Fajara. It was nothing. And definitely Brufut.
And that's what Sanyang will be in 10 years. That's what Gunjo will be in another 15 years. That's what Carlton will be in 20 years. Development everywhere has to grow. Every country is going to grow. Nothing stays the same forever. People are going to migrate. People are going to move. Things are going to change. So it's one of the smallest countries. But it's going to develop. When I came here, there were no roads. Today we have flyovers.
Yeah.
And it's just 6 years span.
Yeah.
So think about it. And because of the roads, now look at how many story buildings are coming up.
Yeah.
And I need to fly my drone and actually do a video and show people what Gambia looks like today because I don't think people really understand.
That would be nice.
So
do you still have that video before, like when we first got here before they worked on the road?
Yeah.
That would be a nice.
I just need to find it and do it like a before and after.
Yeah. Motivation said, I'm not going to pay any mortgage. By the time you finish paying, it's already a fortune.
And you never finish. Even if you finish paying, you still pay property taxes on it.
And those are not cheap.
It's never fully yours.
It's the culture of the country, yes.
Gambians are very simplistic in general. They're not aggressive in terms of business.
That is true.
And that is what we have to change. That is what we have to work on because that lack of aggression is making people to think that they're just naturally passive and they can come here and just grab and take and take. Um, we the Gambians have to change it.
Yeah, you have changed nationality. We the
Yes.
people.
Yes.
We the people have to change it, okay? But we need to learn Wolof though.
That's a hard language. It's hard.
Because that would be a game changer if we could speak. If you're just joining us, hi, let us know where you're joining us from. We are chatting all things relocation. What would you be willing to give up? I have my incredible husband. He has dropped so many gems already, y'all, uh, as a guest. So feel free to drop your comments, your questions, all the things.
There are opportunities. There are opportunities. There are still opportunities in real estate. I mean, it's crazy how much opportunity there in real estate here. And I'm not talking luxury, all this luxury stuff that's going on right now. Just basic stuff. So many people need a place to stay. I have over 100 cards. Majority of my workers are non-Gambians. They come from Sierra Leone, Liberia, Ghana, places like that. And low-income housing is just all over the continent. It's really a bad. It's in bad shape. People are suffering, right? People are struggling, and I think that's where we see the challenges. So there's opportunity there. There's opportunity in the food sector. Restaurants is still people are always going to need food to eat. Um, Tourism, it's a very very underserved
Yeah.
industry right now. If you have expertise in tourism, you want to be here because Gambia is making efforts to actually regain some level of dominance because it's a tricky situation for the Gambia because they're competing with Senegal and they're losing a lot of their tourists to Senegal actually, and they're also competing with Cape Verde, which is literally next door. So Gambia, there's room for Gambia to create opportunities for tourists to come here and stay. There's nothing for tourists to come here and do. That's why
After
whenever they
three
come here,
days,
there's a tour. That tour is taking them to Senegal
yeah.
to go see Korea Island and all of that stuff. Gambia has got the island here that needs to be developed. There's room for quad bikes, places where you can go do quad bikes. If you're in the jet ski business, there's opportunities there where you can start a jet ski business, a jet ski rental business. And I'm talking about scale here, guys. I'm not talking about one or two jet skis. Um, Real business. So
We don't have a yacht.
there's
Do we
opportunity
have a
in
yacht in this
education.
Gambia?
There's still need for a good school.
Oh, that's true.
Um,
That's for sure.
where isn't there an opportunity in this
Everywhere.
country? There is everywhere.
Everywhere.
So it depends on what your expertise is and what do you like. But come out here and check it out. Get you a piece of land, build you a house, right? Build your own residence, something that belongs to you. It'll do something for you. And then from there, you know that you have the leeway. You won't worry about that paycheck because once you have your house built, that's
That's the biggest
70% of your
thing.
expenses already gone. You mean to tell me as a man you can't feed yourself once you have free housing? You're not able to feed yourself. You're not able to take care of one or two things. I mean, you will do it. You will do it. So the key is to do it under as less pressure as possible. And all of it is just fear. Most people, when I talk to them, most people who call me, I just realize it's fear, and I understand. It took me a long time to get there. So people will get there when time permits them to get there. I don't think it's something you can't convince anyone. Um, so I totally understand. Okay, Epic Motivation says, uh, I'm interested in the tourism area. Oh, there's so much opportunity in tourism. If you can buy cars, vans, do tours. Tours would make a killing here with tours.
Oh, we have a lot of people watching from Germany. Yeah. Dusseldorf. That's where we went. Is that not where
No.
We didn't go to Düsseldorf. How do I know this
I
Düsseldorf?
didn't go to Düsseldorf. I've been to Düsseldorf, but like when I went to Germany, you didn't go with me.
Mm.
We went to Cologne.
That's how Edwin lives.
No.
Oh. Well, hi.
Düsseldorf is a big city.
Mm.
Düsseldorf is a big city, and a lot of Africans live in Düsseldorf. I drove from Cologne to Düsseldorf. But yeah, no.
Okay, hi, Lions then. Watching from Germany. Rory Curtis asked, what do you provide in your security firm that other companies in the Gambia? What did you say? In the Gambia don't provide. What does Fox Eye Security provide that the other companies don't provide?
What do we provide that other companies do?
Yeah, what do you provide in your security firm that other companies in the Gambia don't provide?
That's a great question.
What we do? I'm trying to pull up the actual.
That's a great question. I think everyone provides the similar service. I think the difference is in how we execute. I guess I would say it's in how we execute. In anything you do, when it comes to business, one you have to find ways to separate yourself from everybody else. And the way I separate myself from everybody else is not necessarily what we provide as a product per se. It's really more the approach to doing business. I try as much as possible to replicate how we do business in the US, right? Respecting the customer, understanding that the customer is mostly right
Mostly.
most of the time. The customer is the one paying your bills, so you have to respect them. Um, and just providing as much peace of mind as possible. But it's hard to promise a perfect service when you have to rely on the same uh, labor force, right, that everyone else is relying on. So obviously your training has to be different, the way you treat your staff has to be different, and all of those things. And then it also helps that you're, as a CEO, you're very much involved, so you're available. Just the other day, I had a client who reached out to me. They couldn't reach out to the security because power went out, and he's in the US right now, and his mom is living in the house by herself. So he reached out to me and said, "Hey, Andre, I'm trying to reach the guys, but I can't reach them. I want to tell them to turn on the generator." I said, "Oh, no problem. I'll drive there myself. I know where the house is." I drove to the house, made sure the generator was turned on. I called him and I said everything was good. He was so happy. That's what I provide that most other companies don't. Because the other companies, you don't even know who their CEO is. On a weekly basis, I wear my shorts, I go to the sites, I chit chat with my guys, and I try to create an environment that they can feel uh, respected and you feel valued. That's what I'm trying to build here. It's a culture that I don't expect anyone to come and work as a security guard forever, but at the same time, while they're here, I want them to be proud that they're doing something, they're working for an organization that actually sees them. Because we work with some of the most um, we work with the disenfranchised. These guys are poor. They don't make a lot of money. I don't pay them a huge salary just because that's what the market says, right?
Yeah, you can't
You
charge.
can't pay them what you're charging more than what you're charging the client. So a lot of these guys, believe it or not, are earning $100 to $150 a month, and
Yeah, if that.
that's what they survive on. It's out of that money they still have to pay rent. Out of that money they have to pay for transport to go back and forth from work. So by week two, a lot of them are already out of money. I have to provide loans. I have to go. There's a lot we can go there, but there's so much. I don't want to hijack my wife's life, but there's so much that we have to look at. But Africa is just not a gold mine to come here and make money. You have to come here and be willing to contribute. You have to come here and be willing to be an example. If you're coming
Even when
here
it's
just to
hard.
make money for yourself and live a rich life, then I feel sorry for you because no one would even notice. But if you're coming here with the heart to give back, with the heart to see yourself in the young ones and to see yourself in the people here, I think it will
Can
go
make
a
a
long way.
difference.
It will make a huge difference. It will make a huge difference. And then in turn, these guys will be willing to break a big wall for you because they'll see through it. They'll see it. They'll see it. And if you don't do that, all they will come to you is for money. They will just be around you because you have money for them to live off of. And that's it.
Well, that's so good, babe. That's so good. That's really, really good. And I would say even just a little thing like when we were trying to find a security company, which is out of the frustration of trying to find a security company. I called 4 companies, and that to just we're like, we want a guard. How much is it? Just to know how much it was a problem. To get somebody to come, they were like, "Oh, the boss is this person is not here. We'll call you back." Never got a call back. So just being able to give us a call, get either the same day or the next day, somebody to come over to your house, look at it, and give you a quote. It sounds simple. It sounds like duh. It's not a big deal. Duh. But I'm telling you, that alone was so challenging. So I'll say that's another thing too that Fox Eye does really well is that communication, not just in terms of once they've paid you, but even prior to. Yeah. So thank you for that question.
Do you rent homes in the Gambia? No, we don't, but we know a lot of, I know agents. So if you need to rent, just let me know. I can definitely point you towards the right direction.
Oh, thank you, Epic Motivation. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. Thank you. And we are wanting to grow Fox Eye. I was mentioning that earlier to add cleaning services, among other things. But the next phase is adding cleaning services because finding quality staff is becoming very difficult in the Gambia and all across Africa. So we are wanting to create and add that as well. So that's in the work for us. So more to come.
I think the shell is already set up. Everything is already set up. It's just to start, just to
Yeah.
launch it.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing.
Mhm.
And this life has inspired me, so hopefully I can get back to creating content again.
Come
Because
on,
for a
create
while
content.
I've just been, you know,
You've been MIA.
very busy.
You've been MIA in the trenches with Fox Eye. In the trenches. Okay, so we can get ready to wrap up, guys. We'll take 1 or 2 more questions and then we'll wrap up. I literally hijacked him from coming home for soccer. I was like, come on the live.
But I think that that's what we have to do is try to create a community where we can talk about these things because I just don't feel like these conversations were had before we moved. A lot of people were focused on showing how nice their lives were in Africa, right? It's a great way to sell it, but I think it's kind of misleading. Um, and then others were just I don't know, like we never really got to see anyone representing it the way I wanted to see it, the way I wanted to live it, right? I didn't see someone actually doing business who moved back and started a business and they're running a successful business and they're doing well. And those are the examples that I wanted to emulate. I just didn't want to come to Africa to live a great life. It's good to have that as a mission, but you get tired of that really fast. It's kind of like that new car. You know how it is in the US. You get
That new car smell.
it smells good the first 2 weeks, but after that, it's just the car note that's left.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about that car anymore. Or the new house, you get used to it really fast. So, a sense for me, I would never sell Africa just based off of lifestyle because lifestyle gets old. Um, I think there has to be more to it. Lifestyle is very important. Don't get me wrong. I'm not dismissing it at all. But what keeps you staying is not just that. There has to be so much more to it. And I think that those are the conversations we need to start having so people have a clearer and a
I
more
agree.
real expectation. Because when I think about some of the things that inconvenience me, it's not what most people will complain about.
Mm-hmm.
It's not what most people will
Yeah.
complain. If you ask me what I don't like about the Gambia, I won't be complaining about electricity or roads or anything like that. There won't be any of that.
Mm-hmm.
So there needs to be a greater conversation. And then there also needs to be a better way for you guys to be able to reach out and ask questions and we answer those questions genuinely. And if you're not ready, we need to be able to tell you that maybe you're not ready, maybe in the next year or two. Because I know for a fact that once you start having that feeling, yeah, you can't pull the trigger immediately, but you have to think about it for a long time, right? I thought about moving for 5 years before I even took my first flight back to Cameroon. So I know exactly what you guys are going through. And I think that we are exactly the right people to kind of help you navigate this situation until you're able to find your destination and transition the best way you can. We have to do it for one another because I think that's the only way it works.
Mm.
So we're grateful for you guys, staying on and taking the pointers, because you don't have to. You could go do your own research somewhere, but leverage us, ask questions, not just about business, life, right? Because I think it'll help, because it needs all of you to be able to actually make it work. It's Africa is not the West. You're not going there to shrink. That way you can just make it here. You're coming here with the intention to grow, um, to reach your highest heights. So I think that if we do it together, it'll really work out for everybody. So
Mm.
but that's my cue. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much. We appreciate y'all. Thank you, babe. Thank you guys so much. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We appreciate you guys. God bless y'all. Have a great Sunday, and we'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.